I don't know why it's taking me so long to make this video, but video games fucking suck, bro. There hasn't been a video game where I've been excited that it's gonna release in a long time, and it's really disappointing to have that feeling. I used to be ready for every single COD every single year in the past when I was like in middle school, early high school. But I don't feel like that anymore. But I'm really gonna be talking about games in general, but Call of Duty is gonna be my main antagonizing point because it's a very familiar game for just about everybody in the gaming industry, other than Mario, Pokemon, which I'll include in a bit. But to me, video games nowadays seem like a way to get in your pockets nowadays, especially now that Fortnite's come out. I think I don't believe these games are built around to have fun anymore, or for your convenience. It's just built around how long they can get you and how long they can retain you and take your money. That's what I believe games nowadays are on. Since nowadays games are going into a free to play uh system, they're trying to make you play as long as they can and make you spend their money. So like cosmetics, loot boxes, and shit like that. And it really seems very ingenuine nowadays. It's depressing because I know these developers put a lot of time, like the coders or whatever it's called, and then the designers like put a lot of time to this game, but the game is still ass. Like in Cyberpunk, I know the people who made that game had a lot of passion for that game. I wanted it to be so good, but when it came out, it was a steaming pile of shit, and it released too early. And everybody and their mom, if they tested it, could have told them that it was released too early. I'm sure they knew it was released too early, but they still released it, and it's a steaming pile of dog ass, and it didn't get the retention that they needed, and so they wasted, I don't know, however many millions they could have gotten by releasing that game if it was ready. Um, so they ruined that, and then games like Call of Duty, who haven't changed in God knows how long. Like it's been the same game for 10 years. The only time where Call of Duty changed was during the jetpack era, and the only reason people didn't like it is because they released it too early. Like if jetpacks released now, I really do believe that Call of Duty would have been at the height of its, like it would have been at the peak at this point. Like imagine a jetpack battle royale, a Warzone with jetpack. The Warzone fanatics now would have been absolutely terrified and heated, and they wouldn't want that. I think it would have been fun as fuck. But I do believe that they released it too early, and all the old people were just mad that all the little kids are shitting on them. Anyway, to me, these games don't feel like passion products anymore. Like old COD felt like a passion product. Elden Ring is a passion product. I do believe Starfield is a passion product, and games like Fallout is a passion product, but they're kind of just not entertaining to me. Other than Elden Ring, FromSoft has really good games, but uh, I'm just not interested in games like Diablo or like open world games. It's just not my cup of tea. It's just not what I'm interested in. I'm really interested in shooters, and they're just so disappointing. Like I believe after Fortnite came out, our standards of how video games should be is extremely high, and people like they aren't delivering anymore. Um, Games like Pokemon haven't changed, Assassin's Creed, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and you can have a game that doesn't really change its core mechanics, like how Call of Duty went to a jetpack era. Like you don't have to change the core mechanics of the game, but you have to at least have an interesting reason to play. Like for me, let's say Elden Ring. Elden Ring was interesting to play not only because it was really hard compared to every other game that's been released, but the story and the characters are so interesting. Like you'll actually listen to the story in Elden Ring. You'll be interested in the backgrounds of these characters. I sure was, and I've never paid attention to any lore of any game I've ever played. Call of Duty, I never paid attention. Halo, I never paid attention. Fortnite, I don't even know if it has lore. Mortal Kombat lore is super convoluted, and so is Street Fighters. They're not interesting. They're not entertaining. It's just a base game where you fight people. And but with with games like Elden Ring and Dark Souls, the story is interesting. And so even though the base game is relatively the same every single time, the different mechanics with the bosses and then the character development is it's extremely interesting. The story is extremely interesting. That's why games like FNAF are so interesting. Um, like the game is the same. It's the same fucking game. It might be a little updated, better graphics, but it's the same game. But the lore is it's pretty interesting to listen to. It's actually really interesting. But that's not what games have now. Like multiplayer games, like shooters, you can't do that. Like it's just not what it's built off of. Is it's the audience they have, they can't do that. And um what I'm saying is that COD is too scared to change its formula. Video games are too scared to change their formula and deviate from it, that they're just so boring and not fun anymore. And not only that, they're really just looking for money nowadays. Like they're not looking for a way for you to have fun. They're looking for a way for you to stay on the game so they can milk money from you. It's super ingenuine. It's super like, and it's so obvious. It's not even like they're subtly doing it. Like with Fortnite, for example, it's a free to play game. It's kind of what I think started the free era of video games, and then because they made so much money off of just cosmetics and little additives to the game, and everybody else wants to do it because of how well it works. Like most kids and college play people don't have money to just spend on games. So if they make a free game, people are gonna get it just to try it because it's free. And then if they really like it, they'll spend like, $10-15 on the game, get little skins, and and they'll slowly milk money from you. And Fortnite did it. It wasn't obvious at the time, but of course that's what it was. But the game was good, so it has that fallback. And so they'll just like, you'll just give them money because it's a good game. Might as well. Where I'm going to be playing it for years on it. But COD doesn't have that. COD is ass. Warzone was good, and then they ruined it. And then Call of Duty multiplayer COD has been the same since it came out. So and then they give the loot boxes and then cosmetics, and they do fucking nothing. And the game is ass. It's been the same every single year, and it's not fun anymore because they're so scared to change because they don't want to receive backlash. And now, even worse is that they're doing super obvious methods to try and get you to stay on the game. That it's like they're ruining the gaming experience for everybody. Like Modern Warfare 2 and this recent COD, the way to get items in the game, it's so obvious that they want you to just stick to the game so you can get these items, because like you want the items, you want to have everything so you can compete properly, right? It's also the same with the skin challenges. I remember in Vanguard, to get certain skins, you have to finish the certain skins before that, and you can't do all the skins at the same time like it was in like BO2 from what I remember. And it's just a way to keep you on the game for an extra maybe like 4 hours, and then you add it up with all the other skins if you want the Grandmaster skin. And it's just such a snake in like so it's such a piece of shit method to keep you on the game and milk money from you. Um, but yeah, like games like Pokemon, like I really want to give props to Pokemon, where the game's been the same. It's the same shit every single year or every other year. And but they with Legends Arceus, they really changed it up, and it's really interesting. It was a really genuinely good game. It's the same with like older like Mario games. I don't know about like recent Mario games, but it was really like they're different every time. Like Mario Odyssey, Mario 64 or Super Mario 64. Like they're different games. Like they're interesting to play. They're unique, and it was euphoric to play. Same with Fortnite. It was a euphoric feeling. The reason Minecraft is so big is because of how many possibilities and how many things you can do with that game. That's why those games are still being played today, and that's why Fortnite's going to continue being played for forever, because of how it's like a sandbox of a game. Same with Minecraft. It's just a sandbox. That's why Gmod was popular for a bit. It was just a sandbox. But with Call of Duty, they don't want to become that. Like, and they kind of can. They can't fit into that, but they're unwilling to change, and they're only getting more greedy words, but they're just getting more greedy, and but they're not improving the game for them to be more greedy. Like Fortnite, they can be more greedy because it's a good game. It's an amazing game, but you can't do that with COD. The game's is fucking horrible. Like the game's not good. It's not fun anymore. Um, they ruined the Warzone scene, which was making them money, but you know, I still think millions of people or hundreds of thousands of people are playing the game. So it doesn't really matter. It's still making them a bunch of money. That's what they get most of their money from. But Halo is the same game. It's not different. It's not entertaining. It's just the same shit. Boring, doggy doo doo servers. I don't know about now. I don't play the game anymore, but it's just it's disappointing to see all the games that I've grew up on just go down the shitter. Because they just want to be greedy and they don't want to like innovate. Like Call of Duty. Like I really am just mainly talking about Call of Duty. Like they're just unwilling to innovate and make something interesting for the game. Like honestly, what they need to do is they need to like make a secondary game and switch it up, or or remaster BO2. I don't care what anybody says. Every single person who's played COD and who grew up on COD wants a remaster of BO2. If they remaster BO2, everybody will buy it. They'll make $1 billion off of that. I don't care. Everybody will buy it, bro. It's the same thing with Fortnite. Like they bring back OG Fortnite and they have 1 million people concurrent players playing that game. You know, like it's the same shit. Like all they have to do is bring back the nostalgic feeling of these old games, and it'll be different because the old COD was different enough to newer CODs that will bring back more players. But that's just my opinion on how games are in the shooter genre. It's just my opinion. I didn't really talk about games like Diablo, like games like that, or open world games because I don't really like play those like that. They're not really entertaining to me. They're okay. They're good games. They're actually good games because most of them are story games. Not Diablo, but like not Legends Arceus, but Zelda, like games like that. They're good games. They're short. Spider-Man, they're short. You have fun for like a week and then you get off and it's just that, and you replay it every now and then when you're bored. I'm not gonna talk about games like that. Those games are solid, but they're not replayable games like COD, Fortnite, Valorant, games like that. And those games have been beyond disappointing. So yeah.